Hey everybody, it's Jeff. I hope you guys are all doing really well today. Got a kit delivered a day or two ago in the mail I wanted to show you. It's another Hobby Boss kit. I found it on Amazon. It was like $25. I really think that's a pretty good bargain for what it is. It's a boat kit. Well, no, it's not a boat. Um, I'd say it's a tank. Well, it's not really a tank either. Anyway, you take a boat and a tank and you kind of mash them together and you get something kind of looks like this. Okay? German Landwasserschlepper. This might look familiar to some of you guys. Harry Houdini built one of these a while back on his channel, and I really thought it was pretty cool. I love that paint job. I'll have to see if I can come close to replicating that in the shark's mouth. It's pretty cool. Let's go down the bench and I'll show you what's in the box, okay? Be right back. Okay. This is a 2017 release. I'm not sure if there were earlier versions or not. This is a 1/35 scale Hobby Boss kit. German Landwasserschlepper, which I guess basically is land and water hauler. Okay. The kit does not include this bumper that goes around the front of it. If you watch Harry's channel, he shows how he made this. So I'll have to see if I can't recreate that. I've got some of my own ideas, and I'll kind of be looking at what Harry did too. But anyway, that one part is a a modeler's thing to build. We've got a couple of paint schemes here. There's a little bit about it if you want to pause it and read it. And Hobby Boss makes several versions of this. It's a 2017 release. So there are more out there. I may get them. I'm not sure if I can get this underneath or not. Kit 82433. Okay. It does have just a tiny little bit of photo etch, and it does have masks, die cut masks for the portholes and things, already included in the kit. Okay, and this end is basically the same as the other end. Okay, I've only looked in this just for a little tiny bit, so everything's still in the bags. I'll have to open them. Nice tight lid. Okay. Here's the cabin, I guess you would call it. And this does have a full interior. There are some ejector pin marks to be fixed up. There goes Jordan. Hi, Jordan. Okay, so a lot of interesting little details can be added in there. Here's the deck. Okay, and here's the hull. Let me go ahead and shut the camera off for a second, and I'll open these bags and we'll come back and we'll take a really good look at it. Be right back, guys. Okay, let's take a quick look at the instructions first. It's pretty much typical Hobby Boss or Trumpeter. It's got our little index of what the symbols mean in the instructions. Kit number 82433 1/35 scale. There's our paint guide. Okay, so we got two paint guides. That's really interesting too. That would be a nice one for hand brushing. I don't know if I would try and paint that one or not. I guess you possibly could. So this is Denmark. I don't know just exactly how you pronounce that, but the North Sea, Denmark, 1944. and the Baltic Sea, 1944. Okay. Got Hobby Boss, Vallejo, Model Master, Tamiya, and Humbrol colors. Not a lot of colors, so it shouldn't be too much to paint. Okay, let's take a look here. Here's our guide for where the parts are on the sprues. Maybe I can turn this light down just a little bit so it's not quite so bright. There we go. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 12 sprues of truck parts. So what's that, 19 sprues? Our die cut masks, unused parts. Oh, it actually lists the unused parts, well that's nice. Decals, and then a little piece of cotton rope. I imagine it's for an anchor or something. Just a couple of pieces of photo etch. And then we've got the lower hull. They call it the board or the deck, and the upper hull. And this is that's our clear parts there. Okay. Start off. It's pretty much a typical Hobby Boss. Start off with our suspension. Get all that put together. I probably wouldn't put this stuff on the hull until after I get some painting done. Just mask off the spots so you can get a good glue joint when you're painting or when you're gluing it up later. Okay, pretty simple. Here's looks like I'm not sure what that is, a rudder or something. Yeah, it's part of the rudder system going on there, and then the propellers or the screws and the rudders. Tells you not to glue the rudders in place so you can move them. And then we do have a template for the upper part of the tracks to go on to build that up so we've got the proper sag. And here's the board or the deck, and it's got the controls that go inside, and I believe they tell you to paint the basic interior white. Okay, so not anything terribly difficult. Looks like we've got a decal. Well, I can't tell you for sure yet, but there's the dash or the cockpit maybe in this, and looks like we've got pieces of a winch here. Okay. Yeah, there's the winch. So that's what that rope is, or the cotton thread is for a winch. Not a lot of parts. $25, I think it's a great deal. More parts for the interior. And then putting the deck on the hull, putting the transom in, and then adding the windows or the portholes, just depending on what you decide this is. Okay, a few little parts that go on the top. Nothing really difficult, mostly all plastics. There's some railings and hand grabs and all that kind of stuff. More little details. Looks like we've got some lights and various things to go on. And some more of the cabin here. Goes in the back. And then attaching it all together. And there we are, just a couple little bits and pieces on the back. So 11 steps, 12 pages in total. Looks like a fairly easy. There's the anchor there. Fairly easy. Kits like this, I like to consider them kind of as a good way to practice your painting. You know, it's not a terribly expensive kit. It's not like you're spending $100, $150, and if you do something wrong, it's a kind of a mess. But For $25, if I mess it up, I'm not real worried about it. Most any paint problems can be fixed anyway. Here's our clear parts. I'm not going to take them out of the bag, but they all look pretty good. Here's the decals. This is our masks for the windows. And then here's the decals, the shark's mouth and a few other little things. All protected very nicely in its own bag with a tissue over it. There's our photo etch, just 2 grills. That should be pretty easy to do. And there's our string for the winch. Okay, not anything too awful tough there. Here's the cabin, or the upper hull as they call it. I like the detail. Got nice rivet detail, everything. Very well done. I wish it didn't have the few little ejector pin marks in there, but we'll work with that. Okay. Nothing we can't sort. And here's the deck and the hull. So give you an idea of the basic shape. I'm sure it's going to take some cleanup to get all the parts to fit well. That gives you a basic idea of what it's going to look like. Looks just kind of like a little tugboat almost, but it's got some little fine bits of something on there. Little stringy bits of plastic. They're not sticking, so they'll come right off. I'm sure it's left over from the molding process. Okay, a lot of detail on the bottom too. I've already got a hair on it. Okay, a lot of static being in these bags. That's pretty cool though. Okay, let's take a look real quick at the other parts. This is going to go together really nice. This is let's see here. This is the A sprue. There's our cockpit and the transom. Various other little bits and pieces. There's no engine in this, which is fine. You wouldn't be able to see it anyway. The details are really fine. There's some railings. Shouldn't be too bad. Okay, that's one. Sorry, my chair is so noisy. Here's the little jig that they give you for the tracks to get the proper sag in them, and then a few other parts for the deck. All really well done. I like the molding is really good in these. Let's see here. Okay, and then we've got 2 identical. This is, I'll take one out. Some of the rollers, wheels. There's one of the propellers there. There's a whole section there that they've cut out. You can see it's been cut out, so I guess that's for a different version. This is more suspension parts here and parts for the winch. There's one of the rudders. Yeah, this looks like a fun little kit. There's a life preserver. Okay. Sorry about the chair. This is E, and they've got some foam over some delicate parts. Let's see what those little delicate parts are going to look like. Yeah, they wrapped those really good. Okay, it's the suspension parts. Very nice. There's rollers. More rollers. It's one thing about a German vehicle. They do have their share of rollers. Let's put that back. I think they put this around it because there's so many protrusions there. They really got a bunch so it won't scratch other parts. So my plan for the channel right now is the GMC will be done really soon, and then we'll get the armored mini armored truck finished, and then start working on the Scamel. And this might come after the Scamel, just depends. Okay, there's another identical E-sprue, so we don't need to open that. And then we have my favorite parts. Lots and lots of track links. Okay, best thing for these track links is to just kind of work on them while you're doing something else. You can watch a movie or whatever. Don't just sit there and kill yourself trying to get all of these done. Even if you do just a few every day, by the time you get to the point where you're going to need them, you'll have them all finished. So, not a big deal. Alrighty guys, well that's about it. I hope you like that. I think it's a pretty cool kit, especially for the price point. I was really surprised when I saw it on there for that. So, be a fun kit to build. Something completely different. And that's my favorite thing, is something completely different. It's not a boat, it's not a tank, it's somewhere kind of in between. Alrighty guys, you all have a really good day, and we'll talk to you real soon, okay? Bye-bye.